Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is Basil Hayden whiskey. Let's take a sip. That is so good. Good old Basil Hayden. Gonna go ahead and move that out of the way. And today's Nerd Stuff is just a brief conversation about Disney's The Black Hole. Disney's The Black Hole was a movie that came out in the late 70s. Starring Anthony Perkins, yes, the Anthony Perkins that played Norman Bates in Psycho. A couple of fun facts: this was Disney's most expensive movie at the time, and if I recall correctly, it was also Disney's first PG movie. This comic book series came out shortly after. It was a 4-series comic book. I only have the first 3 issues here. The first 3 issues follow the events of the movie, and the 4th one actually follows stuff after the movie. So I'm going to have to pick that up just to see what that is. For those that remember this, this was really a cool movie at the time. I remember going to a movie theater out in Utah, I think it was, and my mom, I think, yeah, it was my mom and stepdad at the time, dropped me, my stepbrother, and my stepsister off at a dollar theater, and gave us like 20 bucks if I remember right, and went and ran some errands. And we watched every showing of this movie in one day. And, the first showing, obviously, we were interested. It was fun. It was a great time. The next showing, we're running up and down the aisles. By the 3rd and the 4th showing, I remember my stepsister just trying to keep us all in line. But it was a fun time, fun memory. It's one of those fond memories I have, and when I saw these comics, I couldn't help but think about how much fun we had at kids running up and down the movie theater. And so this is the first issue of The Black Hole from Whitman Comics. Second issue of The Black Hole. I remember this robot was cool. I think one of the names was Vincent. And the one that was damaged, I think, was Bob. Issue number 3. What they're not showing on these covers, which I thought was kind of a little disappointing, is I remember there was a giant red robot. I think it was Maximilian or Max. I remember it being the first time something scared me at the movie theater. Maximilian was this giant red robot that, it was definitely very intimidating, especially for some young kids. Let's go ahead and take another sip. So just out of curiosity, how many people out there had seen Disney's The Black Hole? How many experienced it in the theater? And how many has experienced on either VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, DVD, the whole thing? What did you think about it? And does anybody believe it's time for a reboot, remake, or a sequel? And if so, do you think it would do the original justice? And, I would love to hear in the comment section who everybody thinks would be some good actors to play these roles. And who would be a good director that you would pick. The other thing I'd be interested to see is who's actually read this comic book? Who even knew this comic book existed? And how cool is this comic book? So really would love to see who's read this comic book before, who hasn't, and what their thoughts are. Also, as always, since we're talking about whiskey, has anybody tried the Basil Hayden yet? What has been your experience with it? Do you like it? I still think this bottle is cool as hell. It's definitely going into that D&D. Use it as some kind of a prop thing. This is going to be a quick video, and I just wanted to kind of go over these first issues real quick. Also wanted to take the time to let everyone know I really appreciate everybody watching the videos. Really would appreciate it if everybody would like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. I am enjoying making these videos, and it's always nice to see when I pick up 1 or 2 subscribers or get a few likes or comments. Again, if anybody has anything out there as far as content, comics, nerd stuff, crazy things that they'd like me to talk about, I probably have it somewhere in the storage and more willing to pull it out. If there's any other shows out there that return to the comics that you would like to see, would be happy to talk about those as well. And if there's anybody who wants me to, maybe we can open up one of these black hole comics and kind of read through it, if that's something people are into. Again, I really appreciate everybody taking the time. Until next time, cheers.